How does it feel to be the first, Chase? How does it feel? How do you feel? God, I love this fucking song so much. It's so pretty. Is that victory I smell? I can't. Beautiful eyes feel like no other. Pretty damn good as you are. She said mine. Alright. Let's go. Okay, this is another big fucking page. I don't want to. Man, nothing beats the fucking chive cream cheese from Wood Grain, man. I feel like I have chive cream cheese in other places now, and I'm like, it's just not the same. It's just not as good as like fresh chives and cream cheese. Like nothing will be better than this. All right, I gotta block first. I gotta work with the speed of sound. All right. Yeah, small batch is best. Just saying. Question. What kind of tea did you make me? Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to get some creamer, probably. I will get it in just a second. That way I can get this shit going and things are madness. This is like a triple onion bagel. That's what's happening to me right now. Onion forever! God damn, this thing is fucking... This poor fucking model. God, wow. This is why these models don't necessarily fit or fix everything. I'll show you all what I mean. Because this is rough. gonna have to adjust this, but that's alright. That's partially just the way that it goes. I just think about the poor monks not having the 5 pungent foods, and they'll never, ever, ever know the joy. They'll never know the joy of a good onion. Oh my lord. No. Okay. Alright. Everybody gets to see how messed up this model is and why we have to fix it. Let me see. I gotta try and think about actually how I want this whole shenanigan to look here. Actually, I do need this man. Hold on. Actually, no, I don't. We're fine. See, I have exactly 6 panels here. I guess I'm like trying to figure out what I want to do here. All right. I just don't like, Actually, you know what? Since this is mostly dialogue, this is going to actually save my life on this page, I think. That didn't look right, so I'm just going to kind of drag this back over here. All right, I need... Stop. Photoshop, stop. Photoshop, stop. Hello? Okay. Alright, so now this is where this gets dumb, because I'm gonna have to really narrow these up. Mr. Man is licking his foot like crazy over there. And I know this looks super, super, super narrow. And actually, for the sake of stuff, I may, go like this so that they're more blocky. And then they get to go like this. And like that. It looks like it's floating in a sea of whatever, but it's actually, there's a lot of trim space around it on this page, which is why they look like that. Alright, so now bow is enormous. Oh my god, why? I love how they don't have an undo guide button anymore. That's cool. Because then I have to go into view. Guides, lock guide. Great. Which I guess for this particular case is not a bad thing. Okay, let me see what we got going on here. Oh, this is not going to work. Actually, you know what needs to happen here? Sometimes my ass is possessed. Hello? Can you get away from me? Thank you. And I don't know, you know? You just don't know. So actually, this is going to end up being more like 2 panels, which is fine. That actually is going to work out better for me. Or, well, hold on. This is the worst. And actually, I don't even like son of a gun. It just looked silly. It looked silly Billy. Okay. We're gonna get it. I want to make it happen. This is gonna look a lot better. I just had too much information in one. Or it was like, it was just too much to be able to do what I needed to do. Come on, Sabah. How are you? This is Svem Sprague from Buenos Dias to Ni Hao. Okay. But like, look at his little armpits though. This arm is fucked up. This fucked up. It brokey. Daz was like, big bodies, I don't know how to do that, and then just completely ate his armpit. I don't know if I like this angle. No! This is such a pain in the butt. Sure, I'll just take the whole thing. I don't even care. I do have to censor butts. I'm like, oh, there's nothing to censor here, but plot twist. There's always butts. Even if they're tiny butts, Jeff Bezos doesn't care. He doesn't like butts. Remember that episode of South Park where they made, I think it was fucking Mark Zuckerberg an android? I feel like that's Jeff Bezos too. Cool. This actually works out. And then now this is where this gets dumb. I have to redo entire posturing here. Because, you know. Honestly, though, cutting down on the amount of panels for this particular page is probably going to save my life. I'm like right in the middle of the door. This is not great. Oh, well, it's Bo that's speaking. Maybe I'm going to turn this around. Sorry, I'm fucking focusing so hard for no reason. Alright. God, he's fucking huge. Sweet baby Jeebus. Why would they do this to me? Okay. Oh my lord. Oh yeah, unfortunately that means that I also need to get rid of this song out of here too. Bye. I love this song, but it doesn't belong in here. I need to figure out if this posing is natural or not, or if this is just like very weird. It is very weird. Bo is just too fucking tall is the problem. And actually... Who are we? Who am I? That's all I have to say, is just what is even happening to me right now. Okay, I did it. God, his fucking face is all messed up. This program just eats the model and like... Actually, just kidding. We're not going to do it like that. Eats the model and not in a good way. Like straight up, just violence is what this is. Shh. Censor the naps. And censor the boot. Censor the booty. Das Boot. Jeff Bezos is a hater of good things. That's just all I gotta say. Okay, I did it. Finish this bagel. Jace, would you mind going and getting me some creamer for my tea? Thank you.
Do you want the pumpkin spice one?
Hmm?
Do you want the pumpkin spice one, or do you just want milk?
No, pumpkin spice is fine.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Get in here, pumpkin spice. Thanks. It got very foamy. I'm kind of scared. Okay, let's see if I can force myself to draw bow from memory. Ah, yes. The stick. Stick of truth. The wizard wand. Thank you, Jace. What am I even doing with my life? Okay. Why, Bo? This is somehow your fault. I need to be more deliberate with my mouth shapes here. Not like it matters, because all of this gets covered up anyway. Well, and honestly, then this goes... Ah, I'm sorry your body hurts. Welcome home, though. I hope that work was not, like, the worst, but that it's, you know, you can kind of recover from the bullshit. We're trying to draw a bow from memory, so that way I stop, relying on the concept art sheets to do it. It's kind of working. But it's also kind of not. No! Nut milk? That is unfortunate. I'm sorry that the nuts betrayed you. Jace, how dare you? get rid of this plate. I got nowhere to put it. I'll be right back. I return. I can see why people don't like these onion bagels because they do end up, based on the over caramelization that happens, bitter. And so if you don't like that flavor, I can see why. Because like every time we go, the onion bagels are like the last ones left.
Yeah.
And I keep being like, why? They're fine. But I can understand if you don't like the burnt onion flavor, that's why. Oh god, it was curdled like actual milk. God, so that's how you know it's like real bad. Like that was like beyond saving bad. Like that's bad. Yeah, it was like, I will be almond cheese, and everyone was like, that's not even how that works. Like, let me turn this bad boy off here. The whole top was torn off. Fantastic. That's insanity. That's like... And then you just have to ask yourself, you're like, what the fuck happened here? Like, you're just looking at it, like, what do I... Like, how did we get here? Sure. No, God. That's... Whatever happened to you, I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I love how you're also just kind of expected to just, like, sell the other ones, too. Is it's like, good luck, Godspeed. Mm. And you were the only poor soul that was willing to do it? Like, that's rude. You deserve a raise, or at least a small bonus. Yeah, no, I'd be like, sorry, I have the tism, I can't deal with the smells, I'll die. And then I would pass that off to somebody else. I'd be like, literally, if I do this, I will go into a blind rage and kill everyone in this building, and then probably also nuke the building. It has nothing to do with you guys, but mostly to do with this. Oh, that's nice, though. Thanks, kitchen. Yeah, and sometimes the neck is fine on this model, and then other times the neck is like, whatever the fuck that... What is this? Like a shovel? I'm like, Daz, please. Daz was like, would you like a meat flap? It's like the weird fur flap on the Galarian Meowth. It's like that. Is that how that works? I think that that's how that Meowth functions. I think that that's canon now. I just wish that this was a better model. It would just be great. I feel bad for anybody who's trying to like render actual like plus size models as like a 3D modeling hobby. I'm like, you guys are just effectively screwed. That's wild. Maple syrup cola. I can see it being really good though. That sounds really tasty. That sounds nice. Apparently I can't draw today. I don't know what's going on. We're doing okay though, actually. Hello? I say as my hand just like glitches. I'm like, we're doing great, and then I'm like, yeah, also, look at how... What is this? Fucking geometry, I swear to God. I haven't seen tears this bad in a model since fucking the Barbie games of the early 2000s. God, I don't deserve how cute Mr. Man is. He's so fucking cute, guys. He's so cute. He's just like asleep over on his sushi pillow. And it's really cute. He's so sleepy. I'm gonna do this arm first before I do anything else, because guaranteed this is gonna cause some weird issues here. I cannot even tell you how mad I am, Cal, that the International Delight Maple Creamer is a Canada exclusive. I'm like, now I just have to move to Canada because fucking everything here is shitty. They don't even give us the maple creamer. Jerks. I'm trying to understand what about this tea blend, Jace, is supposed to taste like pirate's blood thematically. Does that make sense?
I think it's more about the color.
What?
I think it's more about the color.
That is a bad way to make a tea blend.
Yeah, I know.
Because it tastes like it's so berry forward that I'm like, yes, when I think of pirates, the first thing I think of is Yarg Raspberry! Like,
Maybe the thought here is that tastes like a bunch of fruits. 'Cause
a
fruits
bunch
are
of
gay.
gays. Oh, Left Daddies, he's gonna make me cry. Left Daddies, why? Left Daddies! I'm gonna cry. I hope that that man recognizes that he probably changed like 15 people's lives. Like, I don't know if he knows that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know?
Yeah.
Also, too, I don't know if like half the people on the trip realize that Lefteris is already a nickname.
Yeah.
And so they gave a nickname to a nickname, and it becomes like meta. It's like so,
Yeah.
it becomes so fucking, I swear to God. I keep thinking that we should definitely go to Korea next, but then also, too, I'm reminded that fucking Mexico is right there, and it's so cheap. Or Costa Rica or Colombia is right behind that, and it's so cheap. And for whatever reason, being on an 8-hour flight up and down, but being on a flight, an 8-hour flight over the ocean somehow is worse. Does that make sense? I don't know why that is. In my brain is like, sorry.
You don't have to deal with time changes. I don't know.
Okay, well, that's another rejected query. Yay! Wow, being an author is fun! At least these people got back to me. Liza Dawn. Oh, actually, this lady got back to me after 52 days. So that's how long I'm waiting for responses from these people, by the way. And then I'm like hesitant to query those whose stuff is like a soft reject. I'll probably swing around and get them at the end. But that means that I get to do more queries next week. Whee! At least they are getting back to me, though. That means that at least they read my thing. I don't know. I don't know what it means. I need to just figure out how to market better. Oh, Jason, yesterday I was talking with this other person who used to be in the children's book selling department of an imprint of HarperCollins, actually. And they were talking about how it was actually the fucking worst job they've ever had in their whole life. So that was kind of funny. And then we were joking about how I've applied to Penguin Random House like 10 times and gotten rejected like 10 times, and I'm pretty sure it's because I don't want to move to, or like I'm not in New York. And then literally they admitted that the only reason that they got the job, or not the only reason probably, because I'm sure that they were qualified clearly, but one of the major reasons that they got the job at fucking the imprint was because they used their aunt's New York address to apply to everything, and so it made it look like they already lived in New York before they got the job, and then they moved in with their aunt when they got the job, and I'm like, I knew it.
Sorry, that's...
Uh-oh, whoa, that's crazy, though. I love it. Wow. Hoo boy. Hoo boy.
Yep, it's spicy.
Wow, Jesus. They had one job. They had a job, and it was to be lesbian and to be nice, and they just... but they fucked it up. Holy shit. But yeah, point being is I keep just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I'm just gonna fucking start my own publishing company. Because I'm so sick of, like, having to fucking... Like, I was talking to that other author, or that guy that I did that interview with, and he's like an elementary school teacher, and he writes YA, and he was like, we got done with the interview, and he was like, you know what, I just have one thing to say off camera, though, because, like, I didn't want to say this on camera, because I did an interview at some point a while ago, and it probably bit me in the ass. He's like, I can't find it on the internet anymore, because it got deleted, you know, it's archived into the annals of time, or whatever, but he was like, fuck literary agents. Fuck them. And I was like, no, for real, actually, 100%. And he was like, the last thing that we need in an industry where the goal is to be creative is a bunch of gatekeepers telling you whether or not your shit is worthy of their time.
Yeah.
And I was like, he gets it. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are we here?
That's like literally what we were talking about this morning.
No, like, it's so stupid. So no, he gets it. And so now I'm to the point where I'm like, I understand gatekeeping something to a degree based on quality, because if something is just not ready to be published, like, I would prefer it if I were an agent, an editor, or a publisher, regardless, any of the three, to email somebody back and just be like, hey, the reason I said no to this is because of a quality issue. It needs to be seriously edited. This is not necessarily a critique on your idea. It's just that the level of polish required is not there yet. Please go back, and if at any point you do get professional editing on it, send it back. You know, and let them know. It's like, you can have second chances. Like, it's fine. We're not telling you that you're garbage, but that's not what these people do.
Right.
And then they use specific language where it's like, I can't really be the champion for your work. And it's like, no, what you're saying is that you think that it's not going to make you enough. Like, the chances of you being able to make it make money are not good, and those are different things. So, it's like, it's really shitty. And so now, like, literally everything that's been happening over this last year, trying for me in my brain to, like, pitch to these damn agents, my brain just keeps going back to, like, maybe you should just open your own company. Just open your own fucking publishing company. Open your own company. You've got hundreds of Bowker ISBNs that you could distribute out to your titles under your imprint. Just start your own. And I'm like, but how do I, like, the problem that the wall that I keep running into is how the fuck do I get it out to people, right? Because what I don't want to have happen is if I were to become an imprint, a micro publisher, and it would be something publishing like 2 to 3 titles a year, right? Max, right? And one of those would be mine. And that would be the way that would work. But the reality is that, like, how do I get those other 2 titles out there? Because I can sell 150 books on my own, sure, but what I need to sell is 1,000. And then if I can get 2 other people under my belt and I can get them to sell 1,000, how do we do that? And that's a conversation I probably need to have with Josh.
Yes.
So,
yeah, because I would say, like,
hi Goose.
Potentially that's a business partnership that you could have with Josh, where...
Well, and then that also then becomes, the tricky bit there becomes, in order to ensure success, the next step becomes money.
Right.
So I'd have to figure out where to get business loans from.
Right.
And shit like that in order to pay for those things. And I recognize that starting a publishing company is an insanely high-risk venture.
Yeah.
So that's why starting small with like 2 to 3 titles a year and not overdoing it that first year is going to be pretty fucking important to not totally, like, completely drive the company into the ground. Like, I think about what happened with Catstone Books, where it collapsed in upon itself and it was just, like, really sad. So I need to not do that. It's going pretty good, Goose. We're working on more comics and shit. I turned the music down a little bit, Cal. Is that a little bit better? Or is it still fucking a disco of sin? Sometimes my microphone, I'm not even shitting you, just doesn't pick up my voice as much. I'm, like, literally in here shouting, actually, right now. And for whatever reason, the mic settings are, like, it's so weird. I don't know. Like, is my voice loud enough? Like, fuck if I know. I think, oh, and you know what it was? OBS had an update. last night.
Mm.
So I'm like, do they update their shit and then it fucks with everybody's audio balance? Like, I wonder if that's what happens. Hello? But yeah, working on the comic, and then also I keep being tempted to just fucking open my own publishing company because I keep getting rejects from agents, and I'm like, you know what? It would be really insane to be a micro publishing company that's like ultra competitive. However, you you accept non-agented submissions, right? Maybe that's the way that goes. That would be like maybe one of my mission statements for that company is to always accept non-agented submissions from authors who choose to do so. And having an agent doesn't necessarily give you a leg up. Because I don't care how well somebody else can sell your book. I don't give a shit. What I care about is the content.
Right.
And what I care about is whether or not the messaging is good.
Right.
And whether or not it can hook me in the first, like, 15 seconds or not. You know, and that's really, like, the level of editing that I'm going to be doing for this other author that I'm working with right now for their developmental edit is I'm going to be talking a lot with them about hook and, like, exposition bloat right at the beginning of the prologue, which is totally fine. That, I think, tends to happen to a lot of high fantasy authors where it's, like, there's so much shit going on in your prologue that it's, it can be easy to accidentally drown your readers there. But I don't know. I really, it feels like that's the right thing to do. And part of it is me being like, well, you know what, fuck it. If you can't get somebody else to do it for you, do it your goddamn self, you know? But then part of it is like, okay, I'm sick of watching, like the fact that there are so many authors out there that are like, my work is really good, but nobody gives a shit, makes me insanely sad. Like, that, it's just, that's not fair. It's so gatekeepery, and I can tell that people are trying to do it in this era because they don't like how traditional publishing is, like, slipping. And so they feel like they have to be extra gatekeepery, effectively, in order to keep a grip on the exclusivity that they have. And it's like, that's not what this should be about. This should be about creating good art and, you know, making sure authors who are underrepresented in terms of ethnic origin, race, ability, gender identity are equally, if not more so, represented in this entire debacle. Like, that's what it should be about. It should be about punctual or, like, relevant stories being published. Like, there's so much. Oh, guys, I've been talking about this with QWERTY for, like, literally months now. At least a year. And I know Lena would make a good as fuck editor, too. So I'm like, I can at the very least start with people contracted out for gigs. But then I have to, yeah, you have to start with effectively a revenue budget for each book, each title. So, like, with 3 books, that would be, I would need probably about, if I was playing it, like, extra ultra safe, probably, like, $4,500 to $5,500. So, like, $5,000. That's actually legitimately all that I would need, doing the math, is $5,000 to start my own fucking publishing company and publish 3 books in that first year. But that's not including any heavy-duty marketing, and that's what I would have to talk to Josh about, is effectively figure out, it's like, okay, if I wanted to sell 1,000 units of a book in a year on launch for these authors to make sure that no matter what, they're getting what I would consider, like, white glove treatment as, like, the first authors for this launch. It's like, okay, how do I make sure that that's how many units sell? And of course, picking titles that are easy to market in that way, where it's like, okay, you know that like effectively upmarket book club fiction is gonna sell super fucking well. So how do we make that go? I don't know, all interesting things to think about. I guess I'll email Josh today after I get done with some work for him. I just want to make this shit way more accessible for people. I'm sick of it being so inaccessible. I love this piece, but I don't really feel like it applies. See, and it's tough because I can tell that my brain is like on that shit, because as soon as I start talking about it, like the level of excitement kicks up, and it's like, uh-oh, you know, it's like this is an adventure that is exciting to me, and maybe it's just what I need. Curious. Tarot Shuffle ASMR, damn right. Interesting. Yeah, so I guess in context of my question, that's a yes. Interesting. Interesting. The tarot is like, I don't know, maybe it's time for a switch up, and I'm like, I don't know. Could be. Fuck if I know. This is annoying. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of this for now. Otherwise, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. Woo! Why? I turned you off. It's time to feed the Snorlax. If you haven't had a snack yet, everybody eat. Get a snacky. Get a little schnickety snack. Oh yeah, I forgot that this is the way. Hello, please? Photoshop is like, I don't know how to function. Okay. I see. Interesting. So you remember, I'm listening to Not Your Toy by Netta. And I remember Shelby being like, because there's obviously a lot of chicken noises happening in this song. And I remember Shelby being like, she sounds like a chicken. That's 100% intentional because the goal of the song is, she's actually saying the word baka in Japanese really fast, but also making it sound like a chicken because her intent is to call the guy a coward. And that's the reason. And she's also saying kululi kululu, which in Hebrew is the onomatopoeia for a rooster. So it has like multiple connotations there. But yeah. And while she was doing the Eurovision dance, she was intentionally like doing like chicken wing motions because it's like supposed to be like goading the guy on, you know, that's like the whole intention of it. So it's, yeah, apparently that became a viral dance after Eurovision as well, which is interesting. So I love it. I dig it. I dig that shit. That's funny to me. Netta is silly Billy and I respect that. All right, cool. I got through one. Ugh, and then we get to do a bunch of fucking... Why? A bunch of environments shit. I don't know. I don't want it. Trying to figure out like how this all goes in place here. Not gonna worry about it too bad. You know what I didn't do is studies of his face from above. And so this is gonna be well, maybe not that atrocious actually. Never mind, I think we're okay. Oh, that's fine. That was gross. Hydrate. Everybody drink some kind of liquid, please. Do as the hydrate commands. Yeah, this pirate's blood isn't a bad tea. I'm just confused. It's better with the creamer in it, though. I feel like by itself, it's just kind of ass. Exactly. Let me feed this Snorlax. I don't know what he's getting tonight. Or for lunchy. I don't know what he's getting. What you consuming, sir? What you eating? A mixed salad. You know what I forgot? Oh my lord. Very important part. Important part, his character, he does not shave his face. He lazy. He doesn't really have neck beard, but it doesn't look good. Part of me knows that I really don't want to draw this entire diner in perspective, but then part of me is like, what if I just didn't, though? Like, what if I just... instead just, like, ignore that shit? I love doing folds. I'm glad I did my clothed life drawing class, because that actually, like, I don't know why undergrad focuses so much on nude figure drawing. Like, I respect it from a structural standpoint, but if you never learn how to draw folds, then you're just fucking confused. And my clothed figure drawing class in grad school was, like, clutch. So important. Wait, what?
Yeah, at RemCAD when I was like there, at least when we were attending, fucking like I had asked about like classes that did clothed figure models after getting through like regular life drawing classes, and RemCAD was just like, no, those are only for illustration students.
Oh yeah, for all I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. I as an illustration major, never fucking once took a clothed figure drawing class. So they have you go all the way through. So life drawing 1, 2, and 3 are required for the school.
Right.
Life drawing 4 is an anatomy and physiology class that is optional for illustration students. Then I'm assuming if they have clothed figure drawing, it ends up somewhere in there. But like, yeah, that's fucking
and I only
insane.
Also, like the clothed figure drawing classes. Fucking also, when I was figure modeling at RemCAD, I did not for that particular class that day, but one of the classes that I did figure model for was one that occasionally had clothed figure models in it. Yeah. So that was a whole thing.
It's just weird because we worked like, because again, I understand you need to understand like with
the
your
structures underneath.
Yeah, you gotta have the Legos underneath the shit in order to know what's going on. But if you don't practice how fucking drapery works, then you just end up looking dumb. And I feel like that's like a classic issue The Morpho books really saved my life, to be fucking honest. I had like a person in another server share that shit with me, and they were like, behold, please take these pirated books. And I was like, yarg. And then, you know. So if anybody wants those Morpho books, by the way, I may or may not have them, and I actually need to save them to a database so that way I can save them for later for myself. Oh my god, Mr. Man, he's having dreams. Guys, he's having dreams. ¿Tienes sueños, amigo? Oh my god. What is he dreaming about, guys? What is he dreaming about? Oh, he's so cute. Okay, I don't remember what Bo's shoot looks like. Oh, he's having dreams. He's snapping and he's having dreams. Oh, he's just regular black work shoes. That's all. Tienes sueños is art. Do you have dreams in Spanish? Están tiendo sueños, señor? Or está tiendo sueños, señor? Estás tiendo sueños? Fucking conjugation in Spanish is the worst. I need more practice. It's been a minute since I have done any level of Spanish speaking in a public setting. Pretty sure. Hello? Let me zoom in, you demon. Thank you. I'm pretty sure a native Spanish speaker would be like, why does this person sound like they're on coke? And I'd be like, don't ask questions that you don't want to know the answers to. Oh my god. Oh, he rolled over. Oh! Why is our cat the cutest cat? Oh my god, what the fuck? I need to go and get my glasses, probably. I know I was born inside this lab like my mother said. I'll have to learn to live this way. I know that my heart's a metal box like my brother said. I will have to learn to work this way. I know that I'm just inside my brain like my brother said. I will have to learn to work all day. Stop. I bet you if I walked over there and I touched him, he would have no idea what's going on. Like, he is unconscious, I'm pretty sure. I should have a Tatsu, well, sorry, I yawned in the middle of that. I should have a Tatsu treat redeem on stream. I don't know why I don't have one of those yet. I could have a timer on it so that way Tatsu doesn't become obese. Yep, Tatsu can. I mean, with my computer where it is right now, that would be fine. But I need a camera mount arm that is one of those grippy desk ones that I could just clamp to the side of that box, the companion cube, and then put it up and over and then point it at the cat. And it would be actually insanely easy to do so. We just need another webcam, which I think we have, and a camera arm. Hey, Taz, what's going on? Thankfully, we still have an hour and 10 minutes of stream left, so you're more so just kind of in the middle. You have entered at the perfect time. We're talking about getting a cat cam for the stream. My cat is like having little dreams right now. He's like asleep on his pillow and he's just like, he's going for it. Yeah, no, we are good. I've got to like really kind of chug along with this particular stream. I tend to go over because I have a deadline for the comic that I'm working on, so I have to just kind of scream and get through it. So slowly but surely, this nonsense with all of these blocked 3D models will eventually look like this. Hopefully. So we have to get from point A to point B, and it's I'm scared. This has less panels than the other page that I worked on last week, but somehow just as bad. And then Volume 2 gets to come out, and I am stoked. This is awful. I can definitely say, as somebody who is actively making this, it's so bad. And then, like, I didn't listen to my instincts when I was like, yeah, I should cover, like, I should do a shorter comic that's, like, a limited number of pages, so that way I don't end up in a situation where I'm working on, like, a, you know, years-long project and I don't want to do it anymore. That was advice that I got. And then, long story short, I ended up not doing that, and now this comic project is probably going to be my life for the next, like, decade or more. This is a One Piece situation. I'm going to actually just slide Wukong over. There you go, buddy. Congrats. Look at that. Let's see. Yeah, his tail is out, but I need to, like... I'm pretty sure... I hopefully will never get to a point where, like, Ota-san is, Ota-sensei, where he's like, I literally, if I have to work on One Piece anymore, I'll just die. I'm actually gonna do this on a new layer. Just kidding. They're just never gonna find the One Piece, I'm pretty sure. That's how the series is gonna end, is that Luffy's gonna die somehow, and then Oda Sensei is gonna be like, yep, they never found it. Sorry, guys. The One Piece was the friendship that we made along the way. Yeah, yes, Jess, oh my god, we thought the same thought at the same time. No, you're right, though. Yeah. That would be horrible, though. Yeah, like, can you imagine? I have not ever seen One Piece all the way through. I definitely respect it, but, like, now I'm too far behind to the point where I'm like, I could probably never, ever, like, actually finish this thing. We were just in here, too. I was thinking about the, because I think it was it you? My brain is soup. My brain is soup. I think it was you, though. Hold on. Yeah, I think it was you. Yeah, we were talking about publishing shit, and now I can't get my brain off of, what if you just started your own publishing company, though? And we were talking about that in stream earlier, and now I'm, like, very deeply considering it. And I'm trying to not do that. And I'm like, I'm just like, I keep getting rejections from agents, which is, normal and par for the course, like normal for the experience. And I'm like, but, but what if I figured out how to market the shit in a good way, and if I could figure out how to actually sell books? I'm thinking about it. I gotta just talk to my boss. I work for a book marketing company that does. They do to some extent some services that they outsource, or they are. I guess they are the outsourced contracted company for some book publishers. So, like, I don't know. I know Hazelden Press is like the biggest one that I personally worked with. They are the guys who do the AA books, like Alcoholics Anonymous, those guys. So I know that like we work with them, but like he also works individually with specific authors. So like I have a bunch of different projects that I'm working on right now for a variety of different books, which is really fun. So I understand the essence of marketing and how to do it. But the question about creating an appropriate budget and figuring out what exactly I'd need to do to get like authors to like 1,000 copies in their first year, that's the question. Or even if I need to sell that many, it's like, okay, so yeah, how many would I want to have for my authors on launch if I do that, and what would the goal be at that point? And that's where that gets kind of interesting. So I have to do a lot of number crunching, and then I have to talk to that guy and be like, help me! And that's how that goes. And then, with our powers combined, maybe we could publish some damn books. Why am I having a stroke? I'm like, what side is Sean's hair parted on? What? What? My brain just blue screened. We're okay. I'm fine. Everything's chill. Totally fine. Okay, I would have done that on the wrong side. It's on over right eye. We're cool. We're fine. Everything's chill. Everything's fine. My brain is mashed potatoes, but that's okay. Chapel Hill. I was on the graphic design side. Yeah. No, it's really interesting. And I was a like I don't want to say project manager. I don't even remember what the official title was for. Are you familiar with the Catstone Books debacle? I don't know how many people know about that, so I always ask. But it was a very small press, and they had the yeah, okay, that's probably for the best. They had this fellowship called the Samuel R. Delany Fellowship, and if you've read the novella The Bruising of Kilwa, that author was able to do what they were able to do because they won that fellowship grant. So the publishing house existed for like 15 seconds, and I was doing like author management stuff for them, and then it just imploded, and then the CEO of the company just ghosted everybody, and it was the most bananas shit I've ever seen happen in my whole life. So I'm like, okay, I need to effectively avoid being that guy. And it was a great job. It's just like, I don't like nothing. They were not very transparent about where their finances were at, and then as soon as things drowned, it was like, sorry guys, and then we never heard from them ever again. So I have to make sure if I do this, that that's not what happens, and so it has to be like really low stakes in the beginning, and then slowly build as the authors experience success or as I'm able to sell books. And I don't know, like I know for other micro publishers, it's like 500 books might be the more appropriate like sales goal within the first year for each title is 500, which would be, to be fair, effectively tripling what I currently sell of my own books. And so that would be a win just in its essence in itself. But I am not a math man. This is the problem. I do not do the maths. I only scream. Yeah, the marketing side is wild. I would have never thought that I was going to get into book marketing. My goal was to be like on the editorial side. But the only jobs that are really available that are reliable are marketing. So I was like, this is fine. Could you start off as a freelance consultant? So that's what I do right now. I am a self-publishing consultant and freelance editor. It is very difficult to get people to dump $1,200 into a book project, though. People are super, super hesitant to do that. So the benefit of being a publishing house over being a consultant is that the authors don't have to pay anything up front, which is more enticing to them to want to do that. And so that would be, I guess, truly how I as a publishing house would make money. You know, obviously is getting returned back on authors' books. But yeah, I think a lot of authors are afraid of the... Because, like, the publishing consultation services, I guess, to clarify for me, what I include in that is, like, marketing plans, metadata, book design, ebook and print formatting, publishing pipeline. And then I don't do any of the editing myself in that particular instance just because it feels... scuzzy, a little scuzzy. Like, I could do that, but it makes more sense to bring in other editors in that process if possible, unless they ask for me to do editing. But people get scared. They get scared of that $1,200 price point, and they would rather do a lot of stuff on their own. So it's an interesting puzzle. But yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, it's interesting to be able to like talk shop. Like, not very many people I come across have been in the industry at all. So it's definitely just interesting to be able to like talk about it just in general. I know I could probably do it. I have so many questions. I could figure it out. Whether or not it would be successful would be the question. That's the question, truly. I need to turn off Bo's giant head. Okay. Alright. So now I need to figure out how much I actually care about what's going on in this panel. Do I want to do a big old background here, or am I going to simplify everything down? And the answer is I don't know. Curse you! This diner is going to be the end of me. I feel like I've been in just the land of suffering since starting this diner page, and or this diner chapter, and it's literally been nothing but hell since getting in here. It's been so bad. And I don't want to do the like Korean webcomic thing where they just are floating in space. That would be silly. That's silly Billy. Yoink. Hello? Why? Photoshop, can you please? Thank you. Thank you, amigo. Alright, so now... Ugh. My heart says don't be lazy and just do it, but my brain says I don't wanna. My brain says doing this stuff's for chumps. This is for chumperonis. Welcome back from Ad Town. You survived the trip. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out if I am a lazy nugget and if I am going to do the entire background. I think the answer is just yes. I think, unfortunately, this is what we must do. Let's see. So where is that weird... Let's see. This is like the little plastic check out our specials thing. And then everything else is behind Sean's head. Up, everybody should hydrate. Leader of the Witches commanded it. Drink some kind of fluids if you have like coffee, tea, water, soda. They tried to sell you pizza. The pizzazz. That's rude. That's rude of them. Okay, so I need his little notebook. Look at that. Little do they know. Yeah, plot twist. Joke's on you, Jeff Bezos. That sounds delicious, though. Hopefully your dinner is good. And pen. And then receipt. Look at that. Ooh, it's your first time making pulled pork. Oh, that crock pot's gonna do the work. I'm sure it'll be delicious. That sounds amazing. Look at that. An itemized list of all the stuff that Bo paid for. He's so chivalrous. I have no idea how it'll turn out. I'm sure it'll be great. Sometimes you just gotta wing it. Okay, I'm gonna open this. What is the comic about? Ooh, that's a great question. First, if you want, you can learn more about it. I'll drop this here. Boink, the link in the chat will take you to the website where you can read it on a variety of different platforms and learn more about what the comic is about. But in a nutshell, it is an adaptation of Wu Chang'en's 13th century Chinese classic Journey to the West, which is a Chinese mythological tale about 4 monks bringing Buddhist scriptures from India to China. Really, the story is about demons and magic and becoming a better person. And I love the story, but I'm super sad that a lot of Americans don't really know about it. Like, it's insanely popular in China, and they legitimately watch, like, a Sun Wukong Journey to the West, like, Christmas special every single year. And then, like Sun Wukong is... Yeah, Sun Wukong's their Mickey Mouse, truly. So, like, I was bummed that nobody here knows about it. It just makes me sad. So I set it in modern day Los Angeles, and my goal with the comic is to try and simplify the Chinese mythological, like, I guess, like, I should say just the Chinese mythos in a way that's easy for people who have never been exposed to it to understand. Because I find with a lot of Chinese media, and I don't fault them for this at all, but the way that they produce like Journey to the West movies or any kind of like Sun Wukong content is that they just assume that you know everything about the character before watching the film. And like if you're familiar with the animated film Naja, that like They just got an English dub that is like rocketing around the United States right now. But it was the highest grossing animated film of all time. And it's fantastic. But if you don't know anything about Chinese mythology, it can be super confusing. And that's like literally all I've been hearing from Western audiences. Because I love them. I've watched them in Chinese, both the first one and the second one. And the other films from that particular studio in the same mythological universe. And they're fantastic. But if you're watching it and you're like, well, who are these people? Who is Ao Bing? Who is Ao Run? Who is Ne Zha? Why does he matter? And it's like they don't really give you any of those answers. And like Gong Bao is such an important part. Like, just as an example, I love this villain's design, so I'll bring him up. But Gong Bao is such an important character in the Ne Zha movies, but if you have no idea who he is in the grand context of like Chinese mythology, his story is significantly less impactful. And then it's super bizarre, and people I think get very confused because Gong Bao in the same franchise, the same film franchise, looks like this in a completely different movie in the same franchise. And they've made jokes about Shen Gong Bao, even in the animated films, being like, oh yeah, we used 2 different character models to depict him at 2 different times in his life. But if you don't know that this is the same character, you're just going to be confused as hell. You're just going to be so confused. So, like, I love China. I do, but they don't market to a Western audience, which is definitely, like, not necessarily their priority, and that makes sense. So, my goal with this is to hopefully be able to come at an audience with the same level of mythological complexity that is present in the original novels without having to compromise. Are these a little wider? I think I need to make these wider. Without having to compromise any of what the myth has to bring to the table. Because I also find that, like, unfortunately, when things get adapted for the US, they just dumb it down really, really, really bad. I'm trying to think of, like, or, like, not even just the US. Like, I know, like, Dragon Ball is probably the most, like, common thing people are familiar with. That's a Journey to the West adaptation, and that goes, like, way off script. But, yeah, I love it to death. It's really fun. I'm going to be talking a lot about, like, mental health and how it can make people effectively into things that they're not. And how you have to just give people second chances, because some people are definitely too far gone, and that sucks, and they don't really deserve that second chance, but others do, and you have to be able to be a strong person and recognize that, like, not everybody is meant to be thrown away. You know, like, especially in the United States, we have a lot of, like, animosity toward, like, especially addicts and homeless people. And we just toss them to the wolves, effectively. Which is... it doesn't really do a service to them. So, our main character is very, like, radically compassionate in a world where you're not supposed to be. And it's unfortunately, I started it in, like, 2018, but a lot of the themes definitely reflect how our current administration is treating immigrants, especially, too. And it's really tragic, and I do not like it. So hopefully people will read this comic and at least feel something. But also, too, demons go rawr and magic goes whoosh. And I get to include Chinese humor, which is great. It's a lot of weird poop jokes. Like, even 500 years ago, everyone was like, haha, poop joke funny. And I do respect that. But effectively, in the comic right now, we have Sean, our main character. That's this lovely lady here. She found out, unfortunately, that her grandfather was murdered. Or her dad. Her dad was murdered, pardon me. Her dad was murdered, and then the guy who murdered him coerced him into giving up like massive amounts of control over his company. and then chucked his body into a river in Los Angeles, which is not great. And so now Sean is trying to get some kind of justice for her grandpa, or for her dad, pardon me. And then this cop knew her grandpa at some point. But he is clearly not human. He's a demon, and there's a lot of discrimination that happens against demons. So the question is what did this guy do to effectively magically metamorphose into something really scary? And she's unfortunately going to find that out later, you know, but like when you're desperate, you trust people, and maybe that backfires, maybe it doesn't. And then, of course, you have fucking Wukong here causing absolutely everything to explode 24/7 because he doesn't know how to, he doesn't know how to function. He's fine. He is Lord of Violence. He's been told that he has to help Sean cleanse Los Angeles of demons, otherwise he gets to go work fast food, and he doesn't really want to do that. Customer service is worse than hell. Photoshop, please. Oh my god. Photoshop, please. Hello? Photoshop, why? I don't ever ask you for anything. Photoshop's like, but what if? Yeah, I won't be including it in my version, but like when I say to people, I always like joke with everyone that like there is a canon Mpreg chapter in the original Journey to the West, and it's a huge gag. That's the joke of the entire chapter, is that just Mpreg. And I'm like, guys, why? This is 500 years old. Why are we here? It's like the most Tumblr meme shit I've ever seen in my whole life. It's so funny. I can't even deal. But yeah, I definitely apologize for the radically bad art in the beginning of the comic, because I have been working on it since like 2017, and so a lot of art has changed pretty dramatically since I started working on it, and I graduated from grad school, and many things have changed since then. I like these fun square stools. Yeah, let's go, art time. I do a lot of productivity streams on here, honestly. Like, that's kind of like the vibe, is like everybody just kind of hangs out in here and works on, you know, what we need to get done for the day. And then we talk about silly stuff, and that's it. That's the content. We watch my cat do silly stuff. Occasionally I get beat up by my cat. Today he's being good, though. I'm a liar. He's always good. He's so sweet. He's just needy. He's a needy little man. On Tuesdays, we do, like, writing streams and stuff. And then tomorrow I won't be here. I'll be over on Picardo working on, like, adult content. So that's, like, that's kind of the vibe. Okay, now I gotta suffer. And do this, all this perspective. It's okay, actually. This is why we make these sets, because honestly, this would be my literal nightmare if I had to do this all manually without, like, a background artist. I would probably throw up. But yeah, any follows on the comic really helps me out, especially over on Tapas. I'm like legitimately, I only need like 8 more people to subscribe to the comic over there, which is just their like free follow for the comic, to be monetized over there actually, which is crazy. I like literally would have never ever thought that that was going to be a thing. So that's kind of cool. That's pretty neat. Yeah, backgrounds are gross. That's like honestly, one of my animation teachers being like, "Hey, so actually, use literally any 3D program that you can to fly through backgrounds when you're working on stuff," was the most helpful tip I've ever gotten in my whole life. Because so many of my illustration teachers had been like, "Hey, that's cheating, and you're not putting in the right amount of effort, and you're lazy if you do this. You don't like, you're not an actual artist if you do this." And it was like, I've heard it like I don't know, just overall the amount of like shaming that came from that was wild. So to have like somebody with an illustration degree who's working in animation be like, "Nah, dude, it's not lazy, it's just smart," I'm like, oh my god. Okay, thank you for validating my nonsense, because you're right. I don't want to deal with this. And so now I have my little men that I copy and move around. I combine my game art degree and my animation degree, my game art degree, and my illustration degree into one monstrous process, and that's it. That's really all that matters. Yeah, when I'm doing portraits, like I don't really need this stuff, but this is a lifesaver for doing these comics. Like effectively, I've created all of my models with the right body types, proportions, and stylization that I need for this. And then, unfortunately, this program is not the best. Like, you can see where some of these models, like, what is this neck flap? We were bullying it for this neck flap earlier. Like, what even is that? It's so scary. So it's like, it's not perfect. And sometimes the gestures are kind of bad. So you have to go in and, like, give it mouth to mouth to really, like, make sure it doesn't look gross. But then once you do that, you're in a much better spot for making sure that you're rip-raring and ready to go for using them all the time. But yeah, it's not. What we've learned using this particular program is that it's really bad at children and really bad at plus size folks, and it's just like overall low-key kind of nightmare fuel. The kids are horrifying. And then if you want to use it for anything that's like non-human, like if say you have like an alien character, good luck. It's about to get scary in here. You're about to create like a Monster Factory level of a monstrosity. Worth it though. And then unfortunately SketchUp isn't free anymore, because that was the program that my instructor had recommended, was Google SketchUp, which in theory would be great because people make all sorts of cool stuff. Like they're like, yeah, here's my set for a cafe, or like here's my stuff for you know, like stools and cutlery and like all of this other stuff. And it's like, oh, that makes sense. Let's load it in, but then it's no longer free. So it's like, okay, you can't preview anything in there in that way, which is unfortunate. So, Daz 3D it is. Can I recognize that this is slightly skewed, but I'm not going to worry about it too bad, to be honest. Yes, yeah, that's effectively why I do what I do with this program, because it got to the point where the AI, one, is so pervasive that it's so obnoxious to try and find stuff, but two, it starts to, like, the original, like, what I would call, like, the James Gurney way would be to, you know, and, like, what I was taught in school was to take photographs of yourself. But what if you weren't the right height? What if you weren't the right body type? You know, and like, I'm very lucky. I have a husband who used to be a figure model part-time for stuff. And so it's like, okay, well, I know that I can use him if I need somebody of his specific body type. But what happens if I need something else, or something that is inhuman looking, or something that has like crazy proportions or stylization for whatever reason? Like, I'm not going to be able to find that on the internet. So spending the time to just make the model myself, and then like saving that out, because especially like since I'm doing comics, it's like I know I'm going to use it later. So I end up just doing it that way. And that is how that goes. I don't know what I want these double doors to look like. Storefrontdoors.us.com. Actually, this website probably just saved my life. I'm not even joking. That's funny. That's funny that they have like an entire website dedicated to storefront doors. That makes sense though, actually. What's up?
I thought I heard something.
You think somebody's knocking at the door? It could be maintenance.
Could be. I'm gonna go and check.
You should check the bathroom sink before you do, Jace.
Oh, okay.
I didn't hear anything, but you never know. I'll keep my earplug off. If they're here, they're just here to fix the bar on for our towel rack. It is ancient, and it decided to eject itself off the wall, which is kind of tragic, but you know what? That's okay. Eventually, it'll die, and that's just the way that goes. Okay, let's see. Stores got to get their doors somewhere. Exactly. Storefrontdoors.us.com is that place. You can buy one commercial double storefront door for $1,800. Oh, no, nobody's there?
No.
It was
probably, I probably heard something like in the hallway or whatever.
It was the ghosties.
It's like stupid having like auditory processing issues, because like I can hear, I just can't fucking like understand what people say sometimes.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that like I can't hear anything because I have my headphones like turned up so much. So if anybody needed anything from me, they would not get it from me. But that's why the maintenance guy goes like maintenance, and he like fucking yells because he knows that people listen to their headphones and stuff. He's got people, they got people in Zoom calls and stuff. They know the work from home life is strong. No, this is not what I want. Damn you, double doors. Nope, that's also wrong. This is the only problem with doing backgrounds as well, is that it's like if it's not perfect, I'm gonna cry. I did it. No. Y'all, yesterday I discovered that you can soft, hard, and medium boil eggs in a air fryer, and I'm never going back to the alternative. I'm never boiling a pot of water ever again. Ah, thank you so much for that follow. That's so nice. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And then I'll be able to make ad money like a filthy plebeian. Ah, thank you so much for the follow here, too. Oh, wait. No, that was Blueberries. Oh, my gosh. Blueberries. Hey, welcome back. How's it going? Good to see you, friend. Thank you so much for that sub. I appreciate that so much. Oh, Tess, now you followed. Oh, yes. One of us. One of us. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Wow, so much exciting stuff is happening. I feel alive. I do appreciate that support, though. That is heckin' nice. Oh, yeah, yep, yeah, you can follow them, and then it'll just give you notifications for, like, when people, go live and things like that up in your notifications bar, depending on what your settings are, etc., etc., so kind of useful for that stuff. But also, too, it helps, like, streamers reach, like, specific goals. So, like, I know for me, when we reach, like, I think it's, like, 500. Let's see, I have it listed in my Discord somewhere. When we reach... What is the goal? We reach... Oh, 450. I'm going to be doing, like, a book giveaway. So then we'll figure out, like, books and related merch to certain things. Depending on, what everybody votes on when we reach that point. So that'll be pretty exciting. Okay, I need little handles. I need little handies. Posture check. Hydrate. Oh, do we have a self-care combo incoming? We do. Self-care combo. Everybody sit up straight. Don't shrimp. Stretch your body. Drink some water or some other hydration fluid if you have it. Life has been crazy. I haven't been able to, let's see. Yeah, do much writing even. Oh, yeah. No, totally same, though. Things have been good. Last recap of the last couple months. I got married. We went to Greece. It was very fun. Then we came back to the U.S. and I was very sad. And then, let's see what else. I got a promotion at my job, so now I'm a project manager for a book marketing company, which is fun. And I'm still teaching at the art college, which is also fun, but it is kind of burning me out, mostly just because students are trying me. They keep trying to submit shit with AI, and it's really annoying. So that is unfortunate. What else? We thought we were going to be... Oh, this is... Oh, boy. Help it. Jace is applying to a bunch of schools so we can try and move out of the U.S. We want to break free. I want to break free. But otherwise, not much else is going on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be lazy. I have the power to do this. Instead of trying to redraw this 19 times, I don't have to do that. Would you believe that you can actually just turn this? No way. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Who wrote those lyrics for her? I just... Help Katy Perry. It's all Greek to me. We all just collectively decided Greece was the way to go. Oh, actually, I know I'm gonna have to... I'm gonna need to move this back. Oh, are you making that cheesy soup? You better be making the cheesy soup. If not, though, I'm sure any other soup is acceptable. I'm just whiny. Stupid Oh, Lord. I'm almost done. Ah, yes, the man's soup. Good. I wish I could share. I'm mad that if we're going to be moving to Canada, Cal, that you're going to be on the literal opposite side of the country from us. I'm so angry. Literally bitter, though. The conflict between his brain and his tail. Welcome back from AdTown. AdTown round 2. It's a necessary evil. AdTown is for the cursed. It's kind of what's nice about Picardo when I do my like 18+ streams over there. I don't think that they do ads. As far as I'm aware anyway. Cursed. Gotta make those tates nice and tatoed, you know? Get them tates tatin'. That'll work. That works for me. That works. Oh, God. I did it. Okay, that took way longer than I wanted it to. I've been working hard training my service dog, and he's actually started to come in public with me. Yay! That's so exciting. I've been working on him with tasks. That's so awesome. Service dogs are so good. Do love myself a good pupper. That is funny, though, Tess, that you know somebody that just came back from Greece. We were all over the place over there on a bunch of different islands, and it was phenomenal. Super fun. Athens was literally on fire, and I got on the plane to come back here, and I was like, you know what? I think I'd rather be in the blaze. We were apparently in the same place as Jason Derulo. When he was there, we were on the same island at the same time. He was just at a different resort. And we also were at the same place as Ted Cruz at the same time. I could have sucker punched Ted Cruz, and I didn't even do it. He was up at the Acropolis, literally melting in the 100 place or 100 billion degree thing. And no, Tess, no, that is not Q over here. Q's username, I think, on Twitch is QWERTYQ as well. If you want to follow Q, let me see if I can find her. Let's see. That should be the correct... Yep, that's the correct account. If you want to go follow Q on Twitch, that's definitely a good place to go. But also, too, other great people to follow in here. Definitely Lear the Witch as well. Lear does a lot of comics, art, really fun stuff over on their channel. And yes, Q does stream on YouTube. I think, like, I know she does multi-streams where she streams both at the same time. I do the same. So I'm live on YouTube as well. But for me, my Twitch is more popular. And then for her, her YouTube is like, it pops off over there. It's crazy over there. Yeah, those streams are fun. That woman is madness. I love her so much. We're going to be doing a bunch of events here soon. I have like a convention with her in the next coming weeks, and then a small like goth craft fair right after that too, so I'm stoked. Q's the best. Yeah, follow everyone, yeah! Woo! Hype train, let's go. Okay, great. There's this monstrosity of a panel. Why? We can always be the legends. Okay, so then this has got to go like this, and then this has got to go like this. It's going to be so fun. The last time we went to that show and we both were selling there, the guy that plays the sexy saxophone in the Lost Boys movie was there. We were like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what is this? Hi, Gabby. How's it going? How are you? Welcome in. I am proud of myself because I drew Bo without his character sheet open today, so that means that I win. Read the fanfic. Which fanfic? No, what are they making you do? Oh, God. As a fantasy market in Loveland. It is not. This one, if you are in the Colorado area, I would highly recommend both of these events. These events are also listed on the events tab in my Discord server as well. But this one is called Some Sort of Spook Show. 2025 is the right one. But you can find their Facebook event page here. Let me share it into the chatteroni real fast. This is their Facebook page, and it's in Aurora. It's at this restaurant called Stampede. And the people who run it typically also run an event called HearseCon. And legitimately, it's just a billion souped-up hearses. They're going to have a goth pet fashion show. There's like a build-your-own-coffin, like, craft station. Free included seminars and classes. Oh yeah, Build-A-Burial. It's like Build-A-Bear. It's so fun. Oh, okay, so yeah, you're not too far away. This would be probably like a 30-minute drive at worst for you, probably. With any luck, maybe like a 20-minute drive. Yeah, it's at Parker and Iliff, give or take, is like the vibe. But it's an amazing event. The people are very fun. They're going to have a weaponized RC car demo derby. I don't know. So me and Q will be inside, and we will be selling books, not in the heat. But I did not know about the Fantasy Craft Fair in Loveland. I'm sure that is fantastic. Yep, and then the other one that we're doing is Mesa County Comic-Con, and that's all the way, that's out in like Grand Junction, though. That one is in the boonies. But that one's my favorite convention the whole year, though. I'm like stoked. Facebook has my number on these targeted ads. They're like, come. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun at Spook Show and HearseCon. My main issue is that I don't really write horror, and I don't really write like monster fiction until very, very recently. So I have to try and convince people that they want to buy, particularly my Brady books for the Halloween season, and then my vampire fantasy that I have out right now. That's like a gothic vampire Dungeons and Dragons fantasy. So I'm like, please buy my dumb books. You know you want them. They are silly Billy. They are spooky. You do want these things. I need to use the correct language. I've watched a lot of true crime or like body cam footage since since starting this, so I need to use the right procedural language here, because you can't just arrest somebody on suspicion of murder. They're actually, that you have to get a warrant, and then they have to be detained. It's the dreary fanfic I wrote when I was in 6th grade. Oh no, Cal. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, thank you, Tess. Ah, you're gonna make me cry. I'm so glad. Yeah, Mr. Von Altus slaps. He's a good one. He doesn't know. He's just trying to be a dad. He's like, I can't help what has happened. I didn't ask to be born like this. Trying my best. Rollo is the fan favorite. It's either Rollo or Blockhead for that particular book. The uncle or the cousin for everybody involved. It is pretty silly. Spooky Middle Grade is very much my vibe. I loved writing them. Like, it was just, it was so good. Oops, all Rollo. Cal, quick, where's the meme? Oh, God, I love that thing. I need to have that thing, like, on deck, just to, like, whenever that happens. Like, oh, that's funny. It will never not be funny. Fucking Rollo. Yeah, shirts would be really funny, though. I don't know who would buy them besides you guys, but I will make shirts if there's enough of a demand. I'll go list it on my Printful. Actually, I'm gonna write that down. Ah, yes! Oops! Oh, man. Good. It's so funny. It didn't need to be like this. It's so funny. I love how he is also naturally and artificially flavored. The other artificial flavoring is the ectoplasm flavor. I do always feel bad kind of starting people off with the Brady books, though, because I recognize the first book, for me, is so clunky. It was, like, the first thing that I officially published under my own, like, self-publishing imprint as an adult, and it was, like, better than my other work, but still very, very rough. I was, like, 21, I think. How old was I in 2018? Oh, God. No, wait. Oh, I was like 22, yeah. Yeah, I definitely am very critical of my own work, for sure. If you can imagine, the rest of the books in the series get better. So, it could be significantly worse. I keep making jokes about the original Hidden in Glass, and I don't even... I'll have to dig that out. I think I have images of it in the server. I always like to think about this shit. Hold on, where is it? Yeah, I like to think about this in particular. This was my first self-published book that I ever released. And it is horrifying looking. So bad. But to be fair, I was 17 years old and it was not great. And, you know, it was what it was. But now it's been republished and it's been given mouth to mouth and we're okay. We're alright. Oh, yeah. No, Tess, it's true. I had to, like, DNF a book recently because it was self-pub and then it just didn't have any kind of editing done to it at all. And I was like, I literally can't read this. It's so bad. Like, there's just... too many typos. It was really unfortunate. and it doesn't matter like how good your premise is. It's like if you can't, I don't know, if you can't get an editor for your work, like it's just oof, just oof. Ah, yes, excellent. We can all just share our really crappy work. That's honestly, it's everybody's been there, and like it's just the way that it goes. Like just oof, it's just a big oof all around. But that's why we get better, you know. It's like we'll get there. Everybody gets there eventually. As long as you have good critique and like somebody to be like, hey, please edit your book, you're pretty much good to go. You're okay. And then you can go back and revisit it, fix it, make sure it doesn't look uggo anymore. We don't need any uggo books on the market. But it's better than AI slop. Even the most uggo self-published book will always be better than AI slop. So, there you go. Yeah, I always want to try and support indie authors, but it's always like, I had a 1-star a self-pub recently too. I did finish that one, but it was like so insanely painful. Oh god, it was really bad. I hired a senior from my creative writing program to edit. Problem was, and I say this with much love, but he didn't know what he was doing either. Big mood. And that was honestly the main problem with a lot of the books that I published after that is I was working on something when I was in undergrad, and I had a friend who said that they were an editor with experience doing freelance. They were not. And they ended up leaving what I can only describe as not critical and instead very hurtful and opinion-based comments in my work. And like I thankfully wasn't super, like it was kind of no skin off my back kind of a situation, because I recognized that there was probably something going on there, that it was like, okay, I don't think that this was intended to be as mean as it is, but this is clearly a preference-based comment and they are not a professional. So I was able to figure that out pretty darn quick. And they did apologize for it later, so I'm not really upset with them. But then that also resulted in that particular book not having the quality of editing that it really needed. And then finally, I was able to get a person who is able to, like, they are not a professional editor themselves, but they have enough experience with my work now and do hold degrees in other arts, to the point where I'm like, okay, you're not going to be doing this to the standard that like a certified like editor might, but at the very least, I know that you know what my work looks like, and you're not going to like do weird stuff with it. But it like I didn't meet them until Brady won. That was the beginning of that, and then even then we've both gained more experience doing that stuff as time has gone on. So it's like, yeah, you could really only go up. And that's, you know what? That's all you can hope for. That's not what I like. I will have to read Four Heroes starring Randy at some point for you guys. I keep threatening to do that. That was the first book I ever wrote when I was like 7. I have it in a spiral-bound notebook somewhere in this apartment, and it's pretty funny. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this out a little bit like that. There we go. Oh yeah, and that's kind of what happened to me with the person that I had in college do my work as well. Yeah, it was a very similar thing that happened where, you know, you ask for a proof edit or a line edit, and then somebody gives you opinions about character development, about pacing, and like those things are important to address. Like if an editor is seeing something that is kind of, it's like, hey, this is a little bit out of the scope of the project that you asked me to do, but you know, like this is you know, maybe something you should consider looking at. His comfort zone was in line edits, and I needed dev edits. Yep, and so then you have somebody who's looking at grammar, and it's like, no! And syntax and style, it's like, no, I'm not there yet. This is supposed to be kind of uggo. I just want help making sure this feels like compelling and not garbage. Yeah, no, it's rough. It's rough. I just got certified as a line editor, an EFA like certified line editor, which is fun, and I'm gonna be going back for hopefully developmental editing as soon as I get a little bit of money after this con season, I think. I definitely prefer line editing, but hydrate. I am done with my first cup of tea for the day. I feel not necessarily any more hydrated than I did before, but I know I'm not dying. God, Bo is massive. So for context, Sean is like 5'3", I think, 5'4", and Bo is like 6'3". He's just huge. He's a big man. This is a lord man. Oh, nice. I got Sarah Chorn to do my latest one. She's worked on a lot of high-profile indie books. I'm a little worried since she didn't have a lot of notes. Valid. Yeah, and I'm not... My issue is that I think I'm so new to the, like, freelance scene that, like... Thankfully, some authors are beginning to trust me with their projects, which is very, very cool. I'm stoked to kind of break into this, like, this side of the industry. Definitely goal at some point is to be able to do, like, editing and like, I don't know, like we were talking about earlier, like maybe if I was just a book publisher full time, that would be the ideal. That would be fucking crazy. But in the meantime, working on book marketing and doing edits for other people is a joy. I did have a lot of beta readers. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Well, depending, like, if if she just did developmental edits, I think that probably means, at the very minimum, that you, one, are more intuitively ready to write. Because, like, at some point, like, because I've published, or self-pubbed now, like, 10 books, and all that I've learned doing that is that at some point, your brain, especially if you read a lot, you get to a point where it's like, oh, I know how pacing should go, and, like, I know where to place stuff. It's just a matter of putting the fluff in a way that makes the work impactful. And so you, I think, run into snags a little bit less often than a debut author would with, like, character development or poor pacing. I teach a lot of, like, animated storytelling classes for the college that I work for as well, and I find that that's relatively true for a lot of the students there too, where you can tell a student who has effectively little to no experience with even analyzing films, even if it's just looking at films to go through the motions of analyzing stuff, they don't know what to even look for. But as soon as you start to just practice, it's like, oh, I can just whip this out and it's not going to be nearly as bad. Yeah, you get into the vibe, and especially too if you write for the same age range as well, where it's like, oh, I know what middle grade readers should expect. Like, I'm not going to write a you know, like I have an 80,000 word middle grade novel, at least I think it's 80,000 middle grade, that probably should be reclassified as a young adult. But it's tough because the main character is a younger kid. So it's like those kinds of things I would not probably do again as in like a more experienced author. It's like the age range most likely is not looking for a book that's any longer than 50,000, you know, so I might not do that again. But, you know, you learn and then you don't do that again, you know? And that's okay. Because the main trick, I think, for developmental editing for a lot of people is to just make sure that one, your characters read as like actual human beings, and then two, your dialogue feels natural, and then three, that the overall message of the book is solid, because you really want, you know, that to be the most standout part of your work. Yeah, the reason I couldn't sell any of my middle grade projects, they were all 80K. Yeah, and I think for like standalone novels, at least if it's for me, I'm just gonna leave that book exactly where it's at. That's okay. I could have probably broken the book up into 2 books and made it a duology, but at the time, like I started writing that book when I was 14, so it's not necessarily like it wasn't made with a specific audience in mind. It was written for me at the time, you know, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. But you're right though, like I think the first Brady book is like 50K, and even that to me feels a little chunky. You know, it's like it's a little thick. And then I dropped all of the rest of the Brady books down to 30K for that reason, or just over 30K in some cases. Oh no, somebody uploaded her songs to Spotify without her permission. Oh, that's not great. Yeah, that's tricky. If you need any help with that, let me know. I'm more familiar with book copyright, but I've taken like 4 copyright classes at this point, and so if you have any questions, like you're always more than welcome to ask. God, that's annoying. I just copyrighted all of my books, and it was $1 brillion, but now I'm glad that I did it, because with like all of the lawsuits happening against like AI companies for stealing all of the literature that they have, it's definitely a thing that you have to do. Get them copywritten so that way nobody does that. I don't like that thumb there, actually, for this particular pose. I'm going to leave it alone. I like that better. If it makes you feel any better, out of all the books I queried, my 80K got the best. Although that was the book I got into Pitch Wars with, so I cheated a bit. I've never done, like, pitching events like Pitch Wars. So far, I'm trying to throw a, like, 98K speculative science fiction at everybody, and the amount of rejections have been wild. Zero requests. It's been great. Okay, let's see. I gotta fix this thing. Yeah, that's so weird. You should, Blue, be able to just do a takedown request with Spotify. Like, you have to contact their copyright team, but their customer service is incredibly responsive. At least of all of the experiences that I've had with them, they're really good. So if you submit a DCMA like takedown request, you should be able to do that. I don't know if they're going to require you to have proof of copyright. Hopefully not. Oh, went to Ad Town at the worst time. No, Ad Town, no. Golden. Oh. I am not removing Huntrix from this playlist, even though it's technically in Korean. No one can stop me. God. I hope that I don't go over too much on stream time today, but we will find out. Damn it, Bo. This is somehow his fault. It's him wanting to go to a diner is the fault. And this is not even going to be the last time that they're here either. Okay, that looks pretty good. Wow. I was going to say, querying middle grade is really hard right now because Barnes & Noble changed their buying habits and they're acquiring less middle grade, which means there are agents with middle grade authors on their list that they can't sell. Damn. Yeah, the market's messed up. No, like, it's it's really bad. I don't know. And that's like, yeah, that's really where the, like, indie publisher question comes back into my mind because I'm like, you know, I'm really sick of having to play with the market whim of publishers like that and agents furthermore. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, not to mention too, we had that problem with like YA for a long time where literally anything and everything was getting categorized as YA for some reason, even though it definitely wasn't. And so, like, I know Barnes & Noble was especially guilty of this, like, trying to sell adult fantasy fiction in the YA section. Akatar, I'm looking at you. It was just, like, really weird. It's like, why are you guys doing this? Like, okay, so I will say, Bo is a huge dude. He's, like, he loves food and he loves to eat it. But look at these thighs. That man could squat press you to death. Oh, yeah, Divine Rivals. Yep, it's an issue. It's very weird. And like that 100% is like effectively booksellers just trend chasing because it's like, oh, they see that like YA to some extent is doing well. So then they're like, uh-oh, how do we sell more YA because we don't have enough YA on our shelves? Oh, quick, shove it over into the YA section and it'll be fine. Yeah, Six of Crows. Yeah, good example. Good example. It's like, this does not belong here. Like, where's the actual fiction for teens? Like, it's... Oh, I don't have to do this. Never mind. We can go back. Or any romance book with a cartoon cover, right? You're like, look. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And there are certain things that, like, ride that like, straddle that line. Like, I think about Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. It's like, I could see that ending up in the YA section. But it could also end up in the adult section because technically both main characters are adults. It should probably most appropriately be in the, like, new adult section. And even still, like, I think that there's still confusion. It's, like, even for me, I'm like, what are people categorizing as new adult? Is it only things that have to do with college experiences? Like, that's how it was categorized in the early days of like what new adult was and like supposed to be, or has that shifted? You know, it's like it changes constantly. I don't think that they know what they want, and that's causing a lot of grief for authors too. Oh my god, is that Moto? I like it. Chunky, I can't stop. I was going to say I will crush your head like sparrow's egg between thighs. That's like, oh, Zangief. Yeah, with the rise of romantasy, we might see that changing, but I see a lot of YAs steering older and older, which pushes lower YA into middle grade. Yeah, right, and so that's where I feel like, at least for me, One Pale Reflection sits, that's why it's a middle grade, is like we have a brother and a sister. The older protagonist is 14 years old. The younger one is 12. Or 15, pardon me, she's 15. The younger one is 12. So I'm like, for the younger main character, that becomes a middle grade book, but then for the older main character, that's young adult. So it's like,
you just end up, it's like it could be both. It could be both audiences, but yeah, it's a mess. It's rough. And then also too, like, I do think that with the romantasy trend chasing in particular, effectively there's like so much flooding happening in the adult market that people are like, uh-oh, how do I sell my book then? And it's like, oh, well, effectively have these older edgy teen characters that are effectively adults and then sell them at the young adult market level. And it's a very weird thing. I don't know. Nightmare Before Christmas, and it should not be. I can't. YA section, no. Yeah, I really do think that the bookstores are collapsing in upon themselves, and they don't. And this is not even just a bookstore issue as well, because really they're just shelving things as they're given based on like BIZAC codes and things like that. And so truly, this is a publishing problem, because I think with the big five having a crisis, an identity crisis, they don't know where anything, or now I guess big four, maybe almost big three, they don't know where anything goes anymore. And so that's causing a lot of issues, which ain't great. Not bueno. I do not feel bonita. Yeah. So I don't know how we tackle that. And then furthermore, it's late, like you're saying, Tess, it's just like leaving specific age ranges of authors just completely in the dust, which is trash. That should not be the way that goes. I also try and constantly convince other like adult readers that they should be reading middle grade, and they should be reading things that are actually truly young adult, because it's super enjoyable. You just have to like know what to find, know what to pick. It's okay to read books for kids, and maybe that's really where the crisis is coming from, is that people are like, oh, well, I don't want to read books for kids, so I'm going to read young adult because that's for people who are my age at 30, right? And it's like, well, no, you're not a young adult. You're, first of all, Rebecca, you're a middle-aged woman, okay? I don't mean to throw you under the bus. But, like, secondly, like, it's okay for adults to enjoy things for children. And I think that there's a huge stigma against people having childlike interests. It's like, oh, well, why don't you read books for adults? Why don't you read like books that have like heavy romance or like heavy sex scenes in them? And it's like, maybe because I don't like that. I don't want to read that. And then you get shamed for it. So that could be like a little bit of like a psychological reason even. It's just kind of interesting. It's tame enough to be YA, but with what I have planned for later books, I'd be upset if it was put in YA purely on the content in later books. Yeah, you can even, you know, because yours is set in a university setting, it's probably new adult. You know, if we're talking about the Olympus University series, that I would put in new adult because it's about young adults moving from one portion of their life into another. They're transitioning from that high school age into adulthood, and that's really what the new adult category is supposed to be for, but then people just throw random shit in there, and it's like really confusing. I think one thing they've been doing well, though, is focusing more on special editions. Yes, agreed. And I really want to like have more special editions of my books. I love that so much. I want like omnibuses of the Brady books, and maybe like a Court of Snakes omnibus at some point. Like, that would be amazing. I remember working at Barnes & Noble, everybody thought that they were going to go to the way of Borders. Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, because you're from the Colorado area. Like, we watched Tattered Cover get bought out by Barnes & Noble, and then they almost imploded. That was, like, a bummer. But they thankfully are not dead, which is good. And yeah, I love middle grade for, like, that breath of fresh air. But honestly, a lot of my work in general is just really silly billy. I don't tend to write like really heavy like Priory of the Orange Tree levels, like George R. R. Martin levels of like intense content. So I feel like I always market my books to people. I'm like, do you want to read some silly billy shit? Because boy howdy do I have that for you. You're gonna love it. That's something. That's a tangent if I do say so myself. Special edition of my favorite book is coming out on October 6th. Ooh, that's fantastic. Yeah, next year I have to order like the actual test print copies. I'm going to be testing out Book Vault. I wish that the internet was more reliable for reviews, because I feel like I have to constantly remind myself that everybody just goes onto the internet to complain. So when I see information about certain companies, I have to like effectively just ignore it and then spend the money, test the product myself, and then cross my fingers and pray. But it seems like Book Vault's distribution services are what's really, really bad about the company, not the actual printing services itself. So I'm going to give that a shot and see if the book is good quality or not. And if it is, hooray. And if it's not, then we will have to try 42-hour books instead and just kind of eat the cost is the plan there, unfortunately. But that's going to be my next big Kickstarter in this spring. For Whom the Bells Toll by J.C. Lin. That's awesome. I love that. Hooray! Ew. 48-hour books. Yeah, that's I think the reason why I ended up looking at Book Vault in the first place, because Q actually sent me the Book Vault link, because she was looking at it with the author Ian Haramaki. They were looking over print-on-demand special editions as well, because he was trying to figure out what to do for Mercy. And so we were all having conversations about that. And, like, it's like, okay, so now what? Like, what do we do? So once we have gotten, like, or once we found a site, it was like, okay, cool. Now what? And then that kind of became, let's explore other options. And then the only other option that we could really find was 48-hour books. And then they were ass. They were just like really expensive for whatever reason. So that's not great. But Book Vault, thankfully, has much better shipping. Now, granted, I think that they have a printer in the US now, which brought their cost down a lot. Because at first it was like really bad because they were shipping from the UK. But now they're not doing that, which is good. So I have to do some math and figure out if this is going to even be viable with what I want to do. I just bought a special edition of House of the Beast by Michelle Wong. And so far I'm enjoying the book. I have not read any of the Legend of Korra graphic novels or anything, so I have no context for her other work. But the pictures are pretty. They're very nice. Hydrate. Oh, I don't have any more liquids anymore. Uh-oh. Uh-ohs. Yeah, let me see. Let me open it up really quick. So, effectively, the way that you do this is that, let's assume you go get your instant quote now, then you go through the rigmarole. Hello? Okay, it'll take 40 million years to load, apparently. There we go. Let's say we're doing a case-bound PC or PPC with a matte cover. Let's see, we want it in inches, so let's do a novel size with the 80-pound premium cream. Mono pages, let's assume 375. I don't know, anything is a possibility. We do want a jacket. Get started. So then they're going to ask for that. Let's say this is going to be Court of Snakes, so let's do blue, blue and white. Let's do a printed end paper, a jacket foiling. Let's say we want to do holographic foiling, no case foiling though, and a custom design for sprayed edges. Then if you get the quote, what you'll see here is cost to print in the UK, cost to print in the US. So then you have to say destination category USA. So unfortunately what this means is that they're going to be printing it in the UK. So you can do the math there to figure that out. And then order your copies there and then figure out 2, 3, 1 and then get a quote. So then it'll tell you, okay, so the book itself. So if I were to do this and get 1, if I could get 1, that's probably going to be the total cost for 1 book is 50 Great British pounds. So that obviously doesn't look great, but as they say up here, if you order over 100 copies, the price reduces slightly. I do think that this is just a touch under 48-hour books, but I don't know if it's enough of a difference for that to matter. Yes, so unfortunately they don't print in the US for this, but they will ship to the US. So that would be the question. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and do the same thing too, and we can just figure out effectively what is the better option. I don't know what the quality of 48-hour books looks like, if they look good or not. And ultimately, furthermore, distribution. Okay, see, yeah, and the custom end papers are cool, and probably, like, I would prefer that. I know for me, that's going to be probably, like, pretty clutch. But, c'est la vie. I realized also I forgot a little bit of this. You also have to buy in bulk. Right, so then that's the trade-off, is it's like, okay, do you know what 48-hour books minimum is, just out of curiosity? Because, like, that's unfortunate, too. So that's why Book Vault is going to end up being slightly more expensive, because you're having to effectively deal with that singular print-on-demand cost. They were the only print-on-demand ones that I could potentially find. So, and their customer service actually got back to you, or me, pretty quickly the last time I asked, because I was asking about book boxes. They don't make book boxes, unfortunately. Just with the boxes themselves, because you have to get a box, or you have to get the actual book set printed through them. Oh, wait. Oh, they might have... Oh, they actually changed it. Yeah, so I probably will order these from them too, because I've been looking for a solution for this as well. Yeah, so they have a lot of really amazing options here. And I don't know, I'll have to message them and figure out why they don't print in the US. So, we'll see. Because I sell my Brady books in a box set already, but I have to make the boxes myself. And while they're fine, I imagine that getting them printed from somebody else would probably be the better option there. So that's where that gets tricky. But I need to be able to actually run the numbers on that one as well. So lots of research. Okay. I've actually already done, I've already done Kickstarters for all of the Brady books when they were initially released, but what my plan is to do a 10th anniversary release, which I think will be in like 2030. Because the last book, The Final Fight, was published in 2020, so I'll do a 10-year anniversary. That'll be effectively like a special edition omnibus version of all 5 of the books together. I think the link that you posted was also Oops All Rollo. So I love how you said soup and then it's just Rollo. I'm so sorry. That was the funniest accident. He is soup. But yeah, eventually I would love to do a special edition for that book. It would be great. All right, let's see if we can fly through this coloring here because this is going to take about 1,000,000 years for no reason. It really is Oops All Rollo. Ooh, but that soup looks good, though. Oh, yeah, that looks tasty. It's still 80 degrees down here. We're not allowed to have soup. It's pretty traumatic. It's tragic. Overall, I'm sad. Soup. That's all I gotta say. I'm just upsetty spaghetti that Colorado has decided to be 4 badillion degrees for no reason. Yeah, last time I emailed the guys, they were like, yeah, you know, it starts at... That site says it starts at $10 or 10 pounds per box. But then, last time I emailed them, they told me that they didn't offer the books or the boxes without books, so I have to email them again and be like, excuse me, I'm confused. Explain. I'll also this too. I can't. Have you seen the guy that does the soup hag sketches on TikTok? Because I think about that. She makes like dinosaur noises. It's great. Thankfully, toning this comic is so fast. I'm like, quick. Yeah, the elk noises, yeah. To be fair, I believe that the elk sounds were also used on the T-Rexes in Jurassic Park, so I associate that sound with dinosaurs first. Elks are terrifying, though. I'm gonna make a Book Vault account right now. There we go. I did it. Ah, the moose is the T-Rex. Yes. Yes. We love dinosaurs. Bo seems nice, and it's all fun and games until he tries to kill your dad. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's good. Honestly, that's what these streams are about, is it's like partially co-working. To be fair, really the reason that this page is taking me this long is mostly because this damn diner background is literally evil. And everything else is like so fast, like it's really not that bad. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, by the way, you're trapped. And it's like, I don't want to be here. I had to move from like a highly detailed police station into this scene, and I don't want it. Did not want. I mostly want to see if they'll just ship me the books without, or the box without the books. That's what I want. I want to try and email them and convince them that that's what they need to do for me. Because otherwise, I haven't found any other companies in the US that will just do just the books, or the boxes. I'm like, there's gotta be somebody that'll do just the boxes. Like, why? I don't want to make my dad make 1 billion of these boxes. Oh, I was like, why is this happening? Oh, that's why. There we go, better. Yeah, because I'm going to need new boxes soon. I don't sell those box sets often because unfortunately people look at like $60 books and they go, oh, that's so much for books. And I'm like, okay. That makes me triste, but we won't talk about it. Yep, and technically with my box sets, you're actually getting a book free. People get scared. But to be fair, eggs also are fucking $15 right now, so not a good time to be a bookseller. Okay, now I gotta do all of this nonsense. So annoying. Welcome back from Adtown. Yeah, if I could find a bookseller to do, or a seller to do just the boxes for me, I'd be in a good place. So I gotta do some research on that stuff. I wish I had an assistant. Then I'd be like, go, you plebeian. It's time. Or pay a kid to fold boxes for you. Thankfully, see, my dad is nice and he does it for free and he glues all of them together. But the problem is that they're so intensive to do. And while I love the quality of his artwork prints as well, because my dad's a professional photographer, the photo paper dings really, really easily. And because the Brady books tend to lean on the side of like a darker cover, when it scuffs, the damage is pretty apparent. And I've gotten around that to some extent by shrink wrapping them, which is fine-ish, but they still ding through the shrink wrap. And so having a fully laminated cardstock box would be better, but we don't have the printing material to do that. So that is unfortunate. Look at this booth. Yeah, they're very fun. I love the book sets so much. Like, yeah, if you do get a chance to stop by down at Spook Show, it's a super fun event. I would highly recommend it, and I will definitely be there and have the Brady's, the Brady's. Or if you're willing to drive out to Grand Junction, I'm telling you, that convention is the best. Nobody, everybody's chill. Everybody's very chill at that convention. I do love them. I don't know what else they got going on there besides convention stuff. The Grand Junction one is going to be next weekend, the 19th and the 20th. It's a half day on Friday, a full day on Saturday, and it is $5 to get into the door, or free if you have a Mesa County Library card. But I don't have one of those. No, for real? I didn't know that we flew to Grand... I always forget that Grand Junction has its own airport. That's crazy. Yeah, see? So, you can just pop on over there. You can just pop right on over there. The hotels right now are really unnecessarily expensive, like comically expensive for whatever reason. So that's the only downside of going out there. But we'll be making the 4-hour drive. If I could fly for free, I would do that. But yeah, it's a really cheap event to go and hang out for a couple hours. They also have pretty good food in Grand Junction too. But yeah, that'll be next weekend, and then Spook Show is the Saturday after that. So they're all the same relative time for me. This is like fall con season now. Oh yes, I will be at Mile High Con. Yes. Yeah, Mile High for sure is on my list. I think I'm doing panels for that one too. Bless you, Jace. I can't. Everyone is like, quick, get the demons out of him. I love how y'all knew it was him and not me. It's because he's so far away. Okay, let's see. That's good enough for me. I realized, though, you know what I forgot? You know what I forgot? Jace loud, Tycho not. That true. If I have my headphones off, Jace gives me a little mini heart attack every time it happens. To be fair, I have like a trauma from my poor mother who sneezes at like the volume of like a jet. Okay. Almost there. I'm working every weekend until October. Oh, no! No! Yeah, thankfully, I work some pretty typical, like, Monday through Friday jobs. I've been trying to be better about forcing myself to take off on the weekends that I have conventions, or the weeks after I have conventions, because I typically don't do that. I just like scream and make myself work every day. But I think after these conventions I'm going to be doing that because it does not make sense for me to do that to myself. The only thing I can't really not do is check in on my students. I might end up taking, maybe it'll be a Wednesday, Thursday off before. Those are like my heaviest grading days, though, unfortunately. Ultimately, I just end up in pain. All of my Berdillion jobs that I work require me to be clocked in at weird times. Is this the same color? It is. No, why would you do that? Okay, thank you. Okay. I recognize this is a Colto, but my lungs have so much space, I can't. Let me get this. When any smoke is present, I crumble and I can't breathe. You're just like, this is the end. Game over. Lord, this is taking forever. We're getting there, but like, sweet baby God. Go, buddy. I'm probably gonna have to just do this manually. Yep, it's the kryptonite. Exactly. We just got done watching Megamind, and I'm just consistently like, your weakness is copper? I love how that doesn't really bring up or like change the fact that Metro Man has no weakness. He's just like literally absolutely overkill in terms of a superhero, and they like openly admit that in that film. They're like, no, he is out of control. No, I did it. Okay, now I gotta do the text. And then let me get, I need Wukong's jacket. Yeah, I have not read Mercy personally. I don't tend to read erotica. I am very much a demisexual man, and that's just not my jam. Occasionally, I will open a romance because I have to, and then I find myself literally like, fast forwarding through like all of the sex scenes. But yes, it is very spicy. I don't know if I would qualify it as erotica, but it is definitely what I would put into the category of a monster fucker novel. Because it's just an Angel X Priest novel, but apparently it is quite spicy. Heavy on the spice. At least from what I've heard from others. Oh, wait, why? Photoshop what? It was just like, did you want to disco around in a circle forever? I'm like, not really. Thanks, though. There we go. Yeah, he's pretty heavily present as an author in the Monster Manor group, if you're familiar with those guys. And they're mostly monster romance or monster erotica specifically. So that's where I'm basing all my knowledge about that book off of. Is that context. But otherwise, I know not. Oh, nice. Sweet rom-coms. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. I just don't read enough romance. It's, oftentimes they move too fast for me. So I'm like, what is happening right now? My brain cannot compute. Okay, so now let's open up my boobles. I'm confused. I went to sign up for Book Vault, And they didn't have me enter a password. Wait a second. Wait a second. Did they send me an email with a password? Is that, or password creation? Is that how this works? Yep, that's that. Never mind. Answers in the question. I was like, excuse me, amigo, I need some help. I need some helps. I need some assistance. The Ice Planet Barbarians. Oh, those are iconic, though. That's different. I haven't read any of those, but they are silly Billy. I respect them for what they do. Okay, let me see. Okay, cool. This is the first page that Bo openly admits that he's a demon. They've known him for 15 minutes. No, just kidding. It's probably like a couple hours at this point, but, you know, say lovey. This is going to be the wrong font size. Okay. Guess the tusks weren't a clue. Oh yeah, no, he's a boar demon. It's interesting, and we're like the reason that I clarify is that Sean is confused because when she looks at Wukong, he's a monkey, and so in Chinese mythology, when you become a demon, you take on animalistic characteristics or traits of the animal that best represents your vice. So if you're a particularly violent person, for example, you become a tiger demon. Or if you're a particularly clever person, you might be a snake demon or a spider demon. You know, there's like all of these things. Some people are born as demons, but that's like less rare. So for Sean, looking at Wukong, she's very confused because he's an animal person, but he keeps insisting to her that he's not a demon. And she's like, I don't get it. Like, you literally have, like, superhuman strength and you turn people into meat paste for fun. Like, I don't understand. Like, you're ultra-violent, you're reckless, and you're, like, out of control. So you must be a demon. And he keeps insisting, like, people will throw it at, like, in this setting, I guess, in Los Angeles, like, being called a demon is a slur, effectively. So people chuck it at him all the time, and he gets very upsetty spaghetti that people are calling him that, and he doesn't understand why. Versus demons most often are like either ostracized, homeless, or put in prison because they do have criminal records, and they become demons because they are a threat to society. So the fact that this guy is a demon and a cop is a very weird thing. And it's I think a concern to Sean how he got to this point, but there's not really any indication why. So in other words, what he's saying is you know, I'm a demon. But just because I'm a demon, you can't disrespect me, because it's very common for him to face people who don't want to take him seriously because he is a demon, if that makes sense. It's like racial discrimination, but worse. Or actually, just not worse necessarily. The same but different. Discrimination is bad. She's trying to figure out why the hemi heck this even is a thing. And the answer is that Wukong keeps telling her that he's not a demon, and he's technically right. It doesn't make him any less of an asshole, though. And she's still very new to this, like, and I'm having, like, that's been what's, like, been interesting about this particular, issue, is that, like, with this comic, is trying to break it down in such a way that people are not going to get overloaded with expositional information, and that has been the worst. Oh yeah, I forgot. I cannot forget. I changed his last name. And they will figure it out. They'll figure out what happened to Bo to make him just a little weenie. He's a little asshole. They get better. But that's kind of the whole point of the comic, is that people do get better. They start off in the ground. Because this is really just a big test by the Buddha to see if they can reclaim the people that they were. Because all of the people that, like, Sean ends up working with were people who had very high stations in the land of the gods in heaven, and then they fucked up. And then they took it out on everybody else, and it's really sad. And so now they have to prove to the Buddha and to heaven that they can handle responsibility again. Right, his name was Pharaoh, right? I'm just going to double check, make sure I'm not dumb. That would be silly. That would be silly Billy. The best way to describe what happened to Bo is that he is a grab him where I want kind of a man. Which is not cool at all. Yep, Pharaoh. And then he decided that he was going to do that with a goddess, and then everybody in heaven was like, chop his hands off! And then the Buddha was like, nah. We'll just have him suffer in other ways. Yeah, definitely. That's like all of the, I like all of them. It's great. It's really good, and what I love about this particular piece is that it demonstrates like Buddhism's unwavering intensity when it comes to not enacting judgment without it being your place. And I love that. But also there is a place for divine judgment. And, like, because Sean at some point, all Mane Padme Hum's people into exploding, which is great. So that's, you still have effectively divine Buddhist power that you can use like magic to be able to save people, make sure that, people are safe. So there's a very fine line of tolerating intolerance in Buddhism, and I think that that's really cool. And plus, this comic goes over a lot of really fun stuff like Taoist magic and demons and spirits, and it's just all in all chef's kiss. It's such a cool piece of mythology. Let's see, what do I want to do here? I do not like any of these. This is fine. Yeah, we're like barely past the exposition, to be honest, in this comic. Like, a lot of this was set up, and I know that's like the biggest critique I think I've gotten from people who read the first volume is they were saying a lot of stuff like it's it's really pretty slow, but it's worth the read. It's like the comic picks up eventually, but it's difficult to get into, which is valid. And so I'm trying to not exposition dump super hard. But unfortunately, for the context of the mythology, there's got to be just a little bit of that. But I think we made it. I think we got it. Oh god, there's no way I can't have an orphan here. Oh, okay, that's fine. Don't look at it too hard. Yeah, it's jump scare. Oh, where? Quick, save my life. No, wait, we're okay. Wait. Oh, the text got really big for a minute. Okay, whoo! I was like, scary, scary. I'm actually going to change this. If that's really who he's doing the favor for. This makes more sense in terms of context. I was like, quick, kill it with fire! Oh, thank you for banning the bot. I appreciate you. Is this volume 2 then? Yes, this is the very last chapter of volume 2. And actually the second to last page of volume 2, so I'm very excited to be able to put it out into print. Because the folks who have been reading it online have not really given me any like negative feedback about pacing. It was mostly the print people, which makes sense because they're kind of missing some of the context by not reading the original or the webcomic version, which is, it makes total sense. And that's fine. Okay, I have to change this content here. Oh, this is a really big... Let's see. Right, Warren is spelled... Is it that define... Yes. Not arrest. That's not how this works. Murder! Oh, wait, but this is the wrong font size. We're fine. What is happening right now? Photoshop, please. So actually, I need a Giganto speech booble. Come, booble! Okay, so I'm going to do this, and then we're going to move this, and we're going to go like this. And it's okay if it breaks the panel a little bit, because we're not at the bottom of the page. It's fine. I don't... Oh, lordy. There we go, that's better. There we go. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so now open. Last step. Almost done. An hour over again, but you know. If I hadn't made the deadline for this the end of September, it really wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I really just wanted to get through this. Huh, I'm like, what is over there that's like causing this to not be centered? That's so bizarre. Welcome back. Hello, amigo. Doing stuff for webcomics is like super bizarre. The formatting is very weird. And like, I respect it, but like, all right. Let's see if this is brokey. No, we're okay. That doesn't look that bad. But what I'm gonna do, I have wizard magic that I need to complete. I don't even know what this looks like on mobile. I just kind of trust that it's gonna look good. Nope. Hey, that's exciting. Tablet time. Tablet time. Okay, now I'm gonna need this is gonna come way the hell down here. And I'm actually going to delete this. Whoops. Goodbye. It was good to know you. And then I'm going to bring this up a little bit. And we're going to... Why? I have to try and figure out what I want to eat for lunchy, and I don't know what I want to do there either. Because I am mega hungry. Okay, I also don't like this. That'll work. We're going to drag this. Apparently, this is just a lot of text. Get rid of this bad boy, and then boink. Look at that. Wowie zowie. Nice. Pastries are great. I had a bagel earlier, but like the bagel has evaporated in my system, and now I need like lunch. And then we crop it. Let me just double check that this lingo, there's no typos. I think I'm actually gonna delete that particular, that's repetitive. That's fine. Great. Now we're gonna save this out as a JPEG, as 231. Okay, save, and now we are done. We did it! This was a surprisingly long stream. We were almost live for 4 hours. I'm gonna go eat food and scream and go do the rest of my actual work. So thank you so much for popping in, and thanks again, obviously, to everybody who followed and subbed. So Tess, thank you, and then Blue Breeze, thank you so much for 8 months of Tier 1 subscription. That is so kind. So kind. I will see everybody tomorrow if you want to stop by in my Picardo. I'll post that announcement over in the live. There will be some weird stuff over there. Hey, Kaino, thank you so much for that follow right there at the end. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Great for you to pop in there. But yeah, I'll be live on Picardo tomorrow for adult content. If that is something that you're interested in, you can find information about that over in the Discord, which I just dropped the link into the chat. Otherwise, I'll be back on Monday with, or no, actually not. I guess I won't be doing 18 plus stuff tomorrow. I'll be doing commission stuff tomorrow. I forgot about that. So cancel that. Scratch everything that I said. I'm going to be back tomorrow finishing up some commissions here on Twitch. So if you want to pop in and say hi, check that out. I'll be doing that. So thank you again. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. And I hope everybody has a good rest of their day. Bye-bye.